Okay, so I didn't actually get to record this battle while it was happening. I thought I could show off just the replay itself, but I apparently can't. So I thought I'd just record this and commentate over it, because I thought this was an interesting battle. I had fought this guy once before, and he beat me. I've been having a lot of difficulty with multiplayer because of firearms and such. Oh shoot, I don't know. Holy gosh. Okay, this is difficult. So I have my army here. I have no gunpowder, as you can see. The enemy does. So I have my Yari cavalry on the right, on the left. I have my archers all set up in a line. And on the far right, I have a set of sword attendants. I have a lot of sword attendants because the only retainer I really have that I think is decent is the one that gives a buff to sword attendant damage. So I'm just relying on those guys. I have a couple of Yari Ashigaru. These guys were kind of low because in my last battle they kind of suffered a bunch of losses, so they came into this under strength. I did not know that that's how the mechanic worked, but now I do. Yes, I only have one unit of Yari cavalry because funds, and I can't afford any other ones, and I really wanted more swordsmen. But after this battle, I think I may want to. It's just I have to cut out so many swordsmen in order to get cavalry, because the cavalry are like 900. Yari cavalry anyways are 900. I guess I could get light cavalry, but they wouldn't have the same oomph that I would like. At least I don't think I check the stats. But anyways, my goal was to take this hill right here and force them to shoot up at me, because he is composed of a whole bunch of firearms units. I think it's just muskets or whatever. And then we have General's Bodyguard, Parrot guns, some more riflemen. I'm finding that a lot of people really like gunpowder, which is understandable. Like, pretty much all of the multiplayer battles I fought have been just gunpowder. So as you saw, my cavalry was taking some shots from the Parrot gun. So I decided, hey, I'm really gonna want these guys because they're my mobility, and they let me disrupt unit formation. So I was like, alright, let's just hide them in the trees. And I'm really surprised. I literally thought as he was spreading his men out that he's just going to force my cavalry out of the trees. I legitimately thought that. I was like, they're kind of screwed, because maybe I could just throw them over here. That could draw some attention, so they could let me take this hill easier, which wasn't too bad, but still not ideal. So I rushed my general up over here in order to take the fire off of my men, and they were really quick at getting targeted. So I just pulled them out as soon as I confirmed that they're firing at him. I had my archers set up here because I thought he was going to try and contest me, but he created his lines and then appeared happy. So, realizing what he was trying to do, I had my cavalry and started to send them to the left over here, just a little slowly. They didn't want to run or anything. I wanted to still keep them stealth, because full line down they could easily get slaughtered. But I was originally, at first I was thinking maybe I can attack these guys, but then I quickly told myself, no, that's retarded, because then these guys would have a clear line of fire to finish them off. So then I thought maybe I'll hit them in the back. But then I thought, well, then they have these guys, and then that would simplify for them. So then I decided, well, let's go to the source of the issue. These relatively undefended Parrot guns. I don't know why he decided to just abandon them. Like, you'd think he would keep the riflemen like to the right or something, since he has the left secured by his general relatively, right? It'd be pretty easy to jump from left to right, or even just keep them behind something around here, because as you'll see, we kind of take easy advantage of that. So while this was going on, I wanted to keep his attention up here so that he wouldn't notice this. So I send my units forwards. Originally, I had them lined up. I had them set to, as you can see, just take a line stance up here. And I had them spread out so they take less casualties from the fire. But it didn't quite work out like that. They didn't actually get to fully complete these orders. Because as they were setting up, I'm like, okay, well, they're taking way too much fire, and by the time I get set up, it's going to be useless. So let's just charge them in. We have the Yari Ashigaru in the front and the sword retainers in the back, so I don't care if the Yaris get killed off. And at this point, he realizes that I've got my cavalry in the back. So he starts turning the White Tiger force behind, leaving these guys screwed and solo, and with all my melee buffs, I know they're going to die. Parrot guns stopped firing, basically slaughtered. I'm like, okay, I didn't really scroll in to assume where these guys are firing. I assumed they'd turn to fight me, but they started firing this. I'm like, okay, well, let's just go back in. And I'm like, all right, well, they're already routing. Don't know when these guys are going to fire, so let's just take their attention. I'm going to draw them out over here. And at this point, I've just dedicated these guys to just being total annoyances. And while he's focusing on that, I still have my wall of Yaris, and I have my sword retainers coming in at a slight angle. And just fully hit one of them. Because if I entangle all of my guys on one, then I get the full force of the melee attack. And they can't shoot me. They can like get like a slight angle, but I don't think they actually do that. They'd have to fully reposition this one unit. So rather than fighting two, I'm only fighting one, and these guys are going to have to either reposition or charge in. It's going to take them a while for the units to get through that. And in that meanwhile, I can have all my guys focused on breaking one unit. And as you can see, these guys totally just broke and ran. And on this whole meanwhile, I just have my archers just mass firing on selected units. As you can see, cavalry coming around, hitting these riflemen. He didn't put his general into like melee, and if he'd countercharged my cavalry, it probably would have broken them and made them rout. But instead, he decided to just turn around and try and fight, which obviously didn't quite work. So I sent my cavalry in. He decides to run. These guys are broken. These guys are broken as well. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, it's time to just charge. I'm going to have my cavalry loop back. And he ends. And that's the win. Honestly, I think that towards the end, I probably could have positioned my units better. If I had my Yaris set up so that they were totally in the front, because you saw it when they were over here. I just bum rushed in. If I had some more better unit orders, some more Yaris in the front, and then I didn't even have to activate Yari wall before they jumped in, so I should have done that. So should have activated Yari wall as they went in. I should have had the sword retainers not tank these guys on the right over here, because I was just kind of stupid. I should have just had them in the back. Maybe... No, I just should have had them in the back, so that once the Yaris get in, then my swordsmen can come in afterwards. So they would take less fire. And then we could have... Or once they had the Yaris over here, I could have had the Yaris continue to charge these guys and pivot over that way, and then send the sword retainers to the left, because they were already in melee combat where they like to be. Other than that, I think it was mostly well done. Probably don't think I needed to have my general jump up on this hill. He could have just stayed to the back. Paragon's only got one volley of fire out, one maybe two volleys of fire out, and my men could have chunked that pretty easily. Actually, maybe they got one over here. I'm not 100% sure, but still, with those two extra volleys that they shot at the general, I don't think it would have mattered that much. So it probably would have been better to keep him safe. Just keep him maybe in the back over here, and then charge him in with his rally abilities and stuff. But beyond that, I'd say that was a good fight. I'm proud of myself for doing that one. But yeah, that'll be all.